The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, and my gun that comfort me, because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. Well, I came upon a man at the top of a hill, called himself the savior of the human race. Said he come to save the world from destruction and pain, but I said, how can you save the world from itself? 'Cause I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I feel no evil because I'm blind. Oh, and I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul. But I know when I die, my soul is damned.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios, Old Gods of Appalachia, The Blood Debt. I am, of course, the voice of the mountain, also known as the Game Master, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Lovey McBride, that uppity bitch who poisons people. Oops, spoilers. She's an uppity sage that crafts powerful objects.
Hi, I'm playing Gertie Gertrude Swanson, who does not trust that uppity bitch, but who is actually a superstitious handy woman who manifests the mountain.
Hello, I am Sailor Rani, and I will be playing Julia Sinclair, a mystical sage who becomes the beast.
I'm Urian, and I'm playing a lucky librarian, Wade Gilpin.
Hi, I'm Ford. I'm playing Ryan McKay, U.S. Marshals, and I'm wondering where that uppity bitch went to. She disappeared.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Revenos Archon, and I'll be playing Joseph Matthew Green, who is an industrious speaker who serves the green and has just given Remy his last rites.
First of all, let me thank everyone for coming out for episode 2 of this 4-part miniseries. Last time we were with this group, well, it was the Harvest Festival here in South Gap. And what started off as a normal Harvest Festival got a little strange. Kudzu took over the garden and then promptly died. Then a fight broke out. And during this fight, everyone in the town got involved. And they murdered each other, only to wake the next morning, well, not dead, which says a lot, though their clothes were damaged. Of course, one of them did not wake the next morning. That was Mayor Remy. And when we left off, Lovey had gone off into try to leave through the mist that surrounded the town and didn't make it out. returned back only to find a very special creature was watching her. A beast whose name sounds like Horned Head, but is not. And then, while that was going on, the rest of the group was planning to go and investigate the mayor's office to find out maybe if there's a reason why he died. But the roots of these mountains run as deep as the people that live there. For generations, families have worked the land and mined the earth, soaking the land in their sweat, tears, and blood. All the while, ancient things sleep in the darkness caverns below, their restless dreams calling out for the very souls of those above them. Walk carefully around these hollers, lest you wake them sleeping beasts. And watch out for the weeping tree. Lovey, where did you go after your fun encounter?
Looking at her watch, she sees she's got some time before she's got to start prepping food at the inn. She's going to go right back to the square and really look at that cedar tree.
Okay. As you come up, most of the families that were here, they filed off. Town is completely quiet. Everyone seems to have holed up in their houses or their shops.
Mm-hmm.
The shock of the events the previous night, obviously, has taken a toll. And as you come up to the cedar tree, it looks the same as it's always looked.
Yet everything else looks weathered, aged, all that.
You are correct. It does not look any older. It doesn't look any different than it did last time.
I'm going to take my pocket knife out, chip off a piece of bark.
As you take out your pocket knife, cut out a piece of bark, a sap begins to come from the tree. The sap is a dark, dark red.
She'll take a jar out of her bag and collect some of that too.
And unlike most sap, the sap doesn't flow slowly. It doesn't congeal like most sap. It's almost as if the tree is bleeding as you cut into it. It doesn't take long to get a nice sample in your jar.
Yeah. Then she puts the lid back on that and pops it back in her bag.
Okay.
And now she'll head back to the inn.
Okay. Now we're going to flash over to everybody else. You were going up inside the mayor's office. Now, when you step into his office, I mean, you've seen it before. Everyone's seen the mayor's office. The funny part is, his seat is actually at a small desk in the corner. The main desk in the center where the mayor was supposed to sit is actually where his daughter most of the time sat. The real power behind old Remy. Serenity Hurst. Right now, though, neither of them are in here. There's papers, plaques on the wall, a couple stuffed boar heads, an old Remington shotgun mounted up on a board of some kind with a plaque under it. What's everybody looking for in this office?
Are there any books or anything that would tell the history of the town that we can see?
There's a number of old books here. Scanning through the titles, you don't see any that seem to relate to the town history, which strikes you as a little bit odd, to be fair. Most of the time, you'll keep something like that in the town library, something to, keep the history and chronicled there, but not here. While she's doing that, what's everybody else doing?
It's been a while since I visited the mayor here. I'm looking to see if there's any pictures on the walls. Like historical pictures, like maybe from 20, 30 years ago. Little places like this like to put those on the walls.
Looking through, let me get from you. Give me a intellect roll, please.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 points on that.
Okay. Do you have any kind of something that would be investigation related for skills? Something you could do? Perception tasks, I see you have.
Yes,
that would work.
Perception tasks, yes.
That'll give you one free level, one asset,
Okay.
one free level effort on that one.
All right.
And you added another one?
Another 2.
Okay. Another 2.
Mhm.
So you've eased your difficulty by 3. Impressive. Okay, go ahead.
Roll the 3.
You rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Looking through the pictures, there are a number of pictures through the town, pictures of previous harvest festivals, pictures of, well, the town square when Cedar Tree was a lot smaller than it is now. But then you notice there's, you come to realize there's nothing from about, you'd put it about roughly 50 years ago. No pictures from before that. You could be off by a decade or so, but looks like before that, nothing.
So around about the time of the Civil War, just before.
Yeah, right about that time. There's no more
That's
pictures.
interesting. Well, I take a double check on those trees there, those pictures of the tree at the Harvest Festival. Is there any of them that indicate that the tree's burned?
Now, there's the funny part. The oldest picture that you see that covers the town square, because there's a lot of pictures that don't do the town square, shows the tree when it was pretty tiny, almost just a sapling. No sign of fire on it at all. Now, while you're doing that, what's everybody else looking at? We got Julia checking the books, the marshals, looking at the pictures.
Gertrude's probably looking through his desk.
You're searching through the desk?
Wait, no, Gertrude's going to take advantage of her knowledge overall about how things are built to see if there's anything being hidden here.
Okay.
Probably starting with the desk if there's like any compartments in the desk, but we'll also just look around.
You're going to give me an intellect roll as well for this one. I'm going to give you an automatic asset based on your skill set of being a carpenter. So I'm already going to drop the difficulty by 1. It's up to you if you want to do it some more. Now, for the viewers, while she's deciding that, the way this works is they can spend points from their pool to lower difficulties to make it even further by putting what's called effort into it. It's up to her if she wants to drop it, though.
That's going to be different than the crafting is going to be different than my engineering skill, or can I stack that?
You can't stack 2 different skills.
Ah, darn. Okay, that's fine. It's probably the same thing anyway.
It'll be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I won't push it or anything.
Okay.
I should have pushed it.
What'd you get?
Wouldn't have made a difference. It was a 4.
A 4? Okay. You look around, tapping at walls. Don't seem like you find anything like that along the walls. I'm sure you check the back of the desk, looking to see if there's hidden things in the desk. Nothing can be seen there. Wade and Preacher Green, what are you two looking at?
I'm looking around for any natural objects that might be related to the kudzu man or anything from the area.
Okay. You don't see any, there's no clippings, there's nothing natural wildlife related in here. Other than the stuffed heads, the gun on the wall. Remy in his youth was a bit of a hunter. It's obvious. All the stuffed animals have dust on them. They've been there quite a while. Of course, Remy at 80, half blind and just as deaf, wasn't doing much hunting anymore. But it's obvious that his daughter left it up. Didn't get rid of it.
And nothing unusual like that on her desk.
Well, yeah, her desk is the rare mayor's desk. His desk is pretty much just a table. Remy wasn't all there, okay? Preacher Green, what are you looking at?
I'm going to look at the gun. I'm going to actually look at the shotgun and look at the little plaque that it has underneath it?
It's funny as you look at the plaque. You can't believe what's written on it. It appears to be perhaps Latin. In absentia lucis tenebrae vicunt is what it says under it. Now, you're not aware old Remy knew Latin. And I'll even put that in Twitch chat for the viewers.
Oh, Wade, my Latin's rusty. I'm gonna pull the gun off. Is it a pop open or the kind of side loading?
Nope, it's a pop open. Over under shotgun.
All right.
So double barrel over under style.
Is it loaded?
Actually, when you pull it off the wall, it is.
Oh, then I immediately pull the shells out, hand them over to the marshal. Wait, in the absence of what? This is striking. I didn't know Remy was an educated man.
Well, I knew he knew a thing or three more
Yeah,
than the
must have learned
average bear,
something.
but this is interesting.
So, Wade, you're the librarian in town. Why don't you give me an intellect roll?
Okay.
I'm giving you one asset automatically as, because of your job in the town. So your difficulty is going to be down by 1. You want to put some effort on that?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're going to drop it 1 more or 2 more?
I'll drop it 1 more.
Okay. You got it. You got any intellect edge yet? Probably not yet.
Yes, I do.
You
I
do?
have 1.
Okay. So that'll drop, it'll cost you 2 of your intellect pool
Okay.
to drop it by 1 more. And then give me a roll. Let's see what you get.
One D20, right?
Yep.
That is a 12.
That's enough. It's actually a quote that's used quite a bit. In the absence of light, darkness prevails.
If I remember correctly, preacher, that in the absence of light, darkness prevails. I think that's what that means.
Oh, what an odd thing to put up on a wall.
Odd thing to put on a shotgun.
Maybe.
I find it odd that there's no history of anything of the town in here specifically.
At all.
None of the books I've looked at, no.
And the courthouse here is too small to have a records office. If it was here, it would be here.
Yeah. You sure Remy didn't have it at his desk?
I didn't check the desk.
All right, I'm gonna go over here then. You done knocking on things, Gertie? Can I make my way past you?
Yeah. I figured there might be something hidden, potentially.
I trust you. Thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna slide into Remy's desk.
Okay.
Check it.
You can give me a intellect roll.
Ooh. Seeing how the rolls have been going tonight, I'm gonna put both levels of effort into it.
Okay.
I got 1 edge, so that means that cost me 4.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm glad. 11.
And you put 2 levels of effort in it, so that puts you at your difficulty would have been a 3 up to a 5 difficulty. Poking around more on the desk, wedged all the way in the back. You can barely see it. Looks like it got caught up in something in there. There's a golden card. You can see it. Looks like almost like a business card. It just has an R on it. That's all.
See if I can reach it.
Yeah, you can pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a normal business card with an R on it.
This is a little bit fancier than I thought Remy was dealing with right here. You seen this before, Marshall? And I just give it over.
Have I? In my travels?
Trying to think, would you have recognized that? Probably not. That is a very specific card from a very specific individual. I don't think you've encountered him yet.
Hmm.
The card give off bad vibes.
I mean, it's a golden looking card with an R on it. I'm not sure how many vibes you can get on it.
I don't know, Kurt is very superstitious.
How is the art written? Is it like Comic Sans or is it like calligraphy?
It is done in almost an old English block style calligraphy.
Mm.
No, that's nefarious. I don't like it.
I don't know where this came from, but it is similar to a few things that I've seen before.
Think it's
Very
important,
simple
or you
calling
put it
cards
there?
tend to be.
It's far enough back. It's probably put there on purpose.
Yeah, what kind of
Yeah,
company would
like
want to just be known for a single letter? Like that's not really like pushing the name forward. You know what I'm saying?
Possibly something exclusive.
Remy,
Thinking they're better than everybody.
Remy would
I
not
go
be
by
an
the letter R.
exclusive club.
Yeah. But that begs a question. Begs a lot of questions here. Who with exclusivity would want to come to this neck of the woods?
Mm-hmm.
Company, individual, or otherwise. And why shove it in the back where no one would see it?
Yeah.
Makes me think that somebody was concerned that this would be something that would be recognized.
Yeah, there's no books back
None
here
of
in
us
his
truly
desk either.
recognize it, but
None of
So,
us recognize it, but Lovey might. Lovey's traveled more.
Oh, yeah.
maybe.
Well, I don't know if she traveled more than you, Marshall, but I think she also runs in different circles.
You say
That's
travel, but
more
I think
accurate
she
there.
gets run off.
Travel, run off, it's all relative.
I will not speak those words because I do not want to be a target.
We are among friends here, Gertie. Don't worry. I'll take all the brunt for you.
Not gonna risk
Well, she
it.
might know a thing or three about it. We'll give it a try.
It couldn't hurt.
No less than us,
Nope.
anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna slide into the actual mayor's desk and look around there.
Nothing in it. Remy wasn't trusted, it's obvious, with much anything. His daughter has been running the town for him. When you can't see and you can't really hear, there's not many decisions you get to make anymore, is there?
Where was the daughter at again?
She was inconsolable. Last you saw her, she was still with her father's body in the morgue.
You mean, we could also ask her about the card.
I agree.
Tread carefully. She is wounded right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have to do it right away, but at some point we should breach it. But I'd like to have Lovey have a look at it before we ask her about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Miss Lovey would know more.
You want some of us to go to the house then, Marshall, while you handle Lovey, or do you think we should all stick together?
I think we should stick together as much as we can. We're in an odd situation. The least amount of moving away, the more safe we would be.
I'm all right with that. Anywhere Gertie is, I feel a little bit more safer, so.
Mm-hmm.
So you all got to head over to find Lovey. Last you saw her, she was in the center of town. Or actually, you saw her heading off to the inn in boarding house. So you're heading that way. Lovey, as they're coming upon you, what were you working on before they got there?
Well, is the inn actually open and operating today?
It is. It's always open and operating. At least, the more respectable folk go to bed.
Night.
Well, she's not closing it. The problem is
people ain't there.
People's not there because.
All right. So since there's no orders other than her fixing breakfast for the madam who runs the
Ellie
inn.
Jane.
Yeah. Yep. She made breakfast for her and for herself. Nothing hinky was in it. Yet. But no, since she's sitting there in the kitchen and she's got a metal pan, like a sheet pan actually out, and she's got the bark on it. And she's kind of she's been examining that and the bottle of sap that appears awful lot like blood.
Well, now that you're back into place, as they come upon you, you've noticed that the blood you put in the jar has congealed and solidified. It is thick as month-old sap. But still blood, dark crimson, bloody red. So you all come to see her with a baking pan out, poking a piece of, looks like cedar bark, with a jar that you can't pour the bloody sap-looking substance out of as you all come wandering into the place.
And she reaches for one of her little saucepans and goes over to the water and says, "Oh, hey, y'all." And she pumps some water into the saucepan to put on the stove so that she can heat up this damn sap to make it liquid again. What can I do for you? Y'all want something to eat?
What are you doing?
Oh, well, I came back after trying to get out to the woods because I could see that one of my favorite spots for foraging looked clear as day and just as peaceful as could be. So I was going to try to make it out there. Well, needless to say, I had to traverse the fog, right? I was heading in the direction of one of my favorite foraging spots, and yet I saw quite the most interesting creature. And once it left my path, I was right back here in town, the opposite direction in which I was walking.
Now that's an interesting tale.
So, a little stroke of curiosity hit me. And I decided to take a sample of the cedar tree. Because I'm well aware cedar does not grow here. And when I took a sample of the bark, the damn thing bled. And I'm not talking like normal sap. It was flowing like blood. So I collected a sample of that too. Now that I've moved it away from said tree, it is rock hard like resin. So I'm going to try to heat it up to make it liquid again.
It's an odd color.
Yeah, it is. I want to
It is very different.
investigate it, see what the heck it is.
And you got that from
The tree.
cutting the tree.
Just a small piece of bark, that piece of bark right there.
May I inspect the bark?
Certainly.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna take it up and bring it up to my nose and smell it.
You smell the smell of cedar. Though there's a faint whiff of smoke.
You smell the soot from it?
There's no sign it's ever been burnt. There's no soot on it, no damage to it, but there's a faint whiff of smoke.
I smelled the soot.
There's a touch
Yeah.
of smoke. It doesn't squeeze like it's been burnt before. It's not brittle.
Mm-mm.
This is healthy.
Oh, it's quite the specimen of a cedar.
I'm gonna pop it in my mouth.
Now, wait just a minute.
You pop the cedar in your mouth.
Yeah, just in my cheek, just.
You taste the unmistakable taste, first of all, of smoke. Almost like if you chewed on a burnt piece of wood. And an iron taste to it. Almost like you'd bitten your cheek.
Just slide it out.
I thought I was going to have to hit you back to get you to choke it out. I was worried it might be poison.
No, it's gonna take a lot more than that to poison me. This tastes like almost like a chewed up inside of a cheek. You can definitely taste the smoke on it. Give that a whirl, Wade. And I just lean it over to him.
I look at it, and I take the end that he had not had stuck in his mouth.
Oh, I put the whole thing in my cheek, my friend.
Yeah, it's not
we're
a
gonna
big
share
piece of
saliva.
bark. She didn't slice off half the tree or nothing. She only took a small sample.
Just put it in your mouth.
Oh, like a piece of chaw. All right.
Yeah, just right in the cheek.
All right. I stick it in there.
You stick it in there. You taste the smoke flavor, but you taste no iron at all. Just smoke.
That's odd. I taste the smoke, but there's no iron or like blood or anything. Not at all.
Can I use my identifying plants and creatures skill to see if that's something that's just me, or
I'll always let you use something. You can try. Go ahead.
you're a good guy. You're a good guy. I don't care what they say about you.
Now that the water's come to a simmer, I place the jar of resin in the simmering water.
Mm-hmm.
So as it comes to a boil, it'll start to heat it up.
Try to heat it up. See if you can get it to
loosen up.
Loosen up some?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it giving off any odor as it heats up?
It's sealed up in a glass jar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is going to be interesting because when it gets warm enough,
The glass jar ain't cold.
the air in it will expand.
She'll also twist the lid so that it's cracked.
Okay, because otherwise you're going to have it. You
No,
just made a
she knows
bomb.
how to deal with that.
I got a 16. I'm gonna die.
Well, first of all, you know this isn't natural.
Yeah.
But a 16, that's pretty good. That's all the way up to a difficulty 5 with a base, just flat out. There's something about it. There's traces in this bit of cedar, I will tell you. Traces of the green in it. Very old, but it's there. You don't know if that's the taste of the smoke or the taste of the blood. You can't identify where it came from, but you come to realize that was the green talking to you.
I'm gonna pull out my pocket knife and try to cut that piece in half and see what happens.
Cut's easy. You now have 2 pieces of cedar bark.
I would like to use See the Unseen and look at the jar that has the sap to see if I see anything.
When you look at the jar of the sap as it's heating up, you don't have to roll for See the Unseen. That's one of your natural abilities there. It is starting to loosen and move a little. You don't see anything that looks hidden about it or anything odd other than once it heats up a little bit, it begins to definitely move more like blood.
That's what Lovey's trying to do, bring it up to body temp.
Even as Lovey pokes at the jar, it swirls around the sides like blood in a one of those little jars you get sometimes.
And Lovey takes the pot off of the fire, takes some tongs out and lifts out the jar, puts it on the pan, grabs a towel, unscrews the lid, and then dumps some onto the pan.
Okay.
She's going to lean down and sniff.
The unmistakable scent of blood. You've smelled blood in the air. You've all slaughtered an animal at least once in your life out here.
She's going to take a pinky, dip it in it, and put it in her mouth.
For you, when you put that in your mouth, you don't taste the iron. It's got a sweet flavor to it. For you, it tastes almost like molasses.
My goodness, that tastes like molasses. Cedar don't have molasses. But when I smell it, it smells like blood. Preachy Green, would you like to taste this one too?
I will gladly put anything in my mouth.
Obviously.
And I'll take a little spoonful and just kind of like tip my tongue to it.
For you, you get that unmistakable taste of iron. Blood.
Yeah. I taste the blood.
Really? Now, ain't that
Yeah.
interesting?
I don't taste molasses.
It tastes like a rich molasses to me. So
see,
sweet,
it
it's
tastes
almost
different.
bitter.
Yeah, cedar don't bleed molasses.
No, I know it don't.
Why does it taste different for you, Lovey?
I don't know. You want to taste it, see if you taste blood? Or if you taste
I'll taste
molasses?
it. I'll taste
Gertie
it.
will taste it before Julia can.
Gertie,
Everybody can taste
Gertie
it.
gets a
It ain't
taste of
killing
it.
me.
You don't get any taste out of it, Gertie. Not a single bit of taste. Flavorless to you. Julia, though, unmistakable taste of blood.
Are you sure that you taste molasses? I also taste blood.
Fascinating.
Wait, come here and put this in your mouth. See if you taste the molasses.
Need me to get you a biscuit to go with it?
Yeah. You're the learning man here. Come on.
I'll dip my finger in there, just take a taste.
Question for you there, Wade.
Mhm.
Is at any point you ever made a deal with the green?
I do not believe I ever have.
Then for you, it has no taste.
I don't taste anything. Nothing at all.
Gertrude, did you taste anything?
No, and moves closer to Wade. Knowing that Wade is probably one of the only ones that he can trust other than Julia.
Fascinating. I have no idea why it tastes different amongst us. That is an interesting thing to investigate.
It is.
But it smells.
It
like
does
blood.
smell like blood. It moves like blood when it's brought up to body temp.
So wait, does that mean the tree is the temperature of body?
Yeah, did you feel it warm when you...
I didn't really touch it. I took a knife to it.
Maybe we should go investigate this tree a little bit.
Bring an axe just in case.
I think Gertie has carries an axe with her.
Okay.
actually.
I'm sure you got a small hatchet.
Let's refrain from trying to chop
I'm not
anything
going to
down
say we're
unless
going
we
to have to, but just in case, because I'm a little suspicious when something tastes like molasses to me, but two others say it tastes like blood, and then two others say it tastes like nothing. And when I cut just a tiny sliver of bark off, it bled like I just stabbed it. I'm a little bit concerned about this tree that should not be growing here.
Yeah. Marshall, you want to put some of this in your mouth and see what you get?
I could already kind of taste it with the smell, and it smelled like blood. But
So you're in the blood camp then.
well,
Smells.
I'll give it a shot. I'll go ahead and
Plug your nose if you need to.
Now, for you, Marshall, you know the unknowable. You taste, it's a sickly sweet, iron-filled molasses flavor.
Now this is interesting. This tastes like molasses mixed with blood for me.
Now that is interesting.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
That's a bit of a curveball now. I was not expecting that. I got to tell you that.
Neither was I.
Gertie just kind of puts her hatchet over her shoulder and is just walking out the door of the tree.
Okay.
She's done.
And Lovey will clean up her bit of mess that she's made and wash off the pan and set it.
You haven't seen Ellie Jane anyway since this morning. She's
Since
not even
she's-
come out to eat.
No.
So I don't think you're worried about her.
She hollers up, Ellie Jane, your breakfast is getting cold.
You hear something thump and that's it.
Whatever.
So you all head out to see Gertrude heading towards the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Gertrude, as you're getting close to the tree, you can see a red streak down it. obviously from where Lovey might have cut it, because it has a bloody streak right down the center of the trunk.
See, it bled like I stabbed it.
So it's not flowing anymore.
Mhm.
It flowed about 3 foot before it stopped, though.
Mm-hmm. That's why I got that bottle so full. I ain't never seen nothing like it.
I'm actually going to touch. Oh, good.
Yeah, this ain't molasses
I know.
at all.
It
No.
flowed like blood. That's what I said.
I'm going to touch the tree and see if I feel any kind of
Warmth or anything?
warmth or anything interesting in
It
regard
is
to it.
definitely warmer than the air. It is not body temperature. It's about midway between the two. But it's definitely warmer than it should be, considering you're talking, this is the fall of Appalachian Mountains.
But didn't know any better. This tree is more alive than pretty much every other tree in this area. In fact, it's more alive like an animal than a tree.
I want to take a closer look at this tree. I do have a training in botany
Okay.
to see if there's anything unusual about its leaf patterns, its branch patterns, anything about its growth
Okay.
that is unusual.
That's going to be intellect.
And I am trained in identifying plants for botany.
Okay. So I'll give you the asset on that one.
And I do have an edge in intellect.
Okay. But that's only if you're going to spend some effort on it.
I will spend some effort.
Okay. So how many levels?
2.
2? You've got a effort level of 2 on your character? You've upped your effort 1? Or are you still at effort 1? Looks like you're still at effort
I'm
1.
at effort 1, so I'll put
So you can put 1.
sorry.
So you cost you 2 points from your intellect pool.
Yeah. 2 points for my intellect.
So it gives you easing the difficulty by 3.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay. That is 11.
An 11. From looking at the tree appears pretty healthy right now. Now, one thing, you don't know how old it is, but judging by the size of it, you put the tree maybe 30 years old.
Anything unusual about it?
No, other than the fact that it's awful healthy.
Okay. The tree looks like it's about 30 years old.
Mm.
How is it being displayed? Like, does it have a little wall around it? Does it have just open
It's just
ground?
it's just a tree.
And it's incredibly healthy. Like, unusually so.
It is centrally located in the
The square.
this particular square of area of town, correct?
It's right in the center of town.
I say out in the open. Well, this is interesting.
Besides the fact it's also at the center of a crossroads.
Well, trees and stones being at center town, center crossroads, is rather common, and it didn't throw me off that it, even though it's a tree that's doesn't usually grow around here, that it's placed here. I've been places that have trees that come all the way from Japan, like those, what do they call them, ginkgos, in the center, and it's it kind of follows an old town thing that I've seen in. Well, mostly trees and stuff going all the way up north and then going into Europe. And then I guess you could say on the opposite side, like stones, because I remember when I was in the Philippines, towns also had like kind of a stone there in the middle, kind of gathering spot, dedicate the village. So it's kind of a universal thing that, I guess you could say towns and communities have. And to have an unusual, stone or tree is not.
But a tree
unheard
that
of,
appears exceptionally healthy for a 30-year-old cedar.
and bleeds.
And bleeds
like
when you take a little tiny piece of bark from it. I mean, the piece
that
fit
is
in the
not right.
preacher's mouth.
This-
It wasn't a big piece.
This
Yeah.
town is also typically, well, at least when I would think so, those towns are founded with those trees in the center, or they're planned to have that tree in the center.
This town's
This
been
isn't
around
old
longer than
enough.
this tree.
Yeah. The square's been around longer than the tree is, from what I've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. I haven't been here that long.
Mm.
I'm wondering what made this specific tree so special enough to be put in the center of town. There are many trees around. Why this specific one?
Could have just grown it from a sapling.
A tree that bleeds.
Why a cedar tree? Indeed.
I'm going to kneel down at its base and dig up some of its roots.
As you dig a little bit down into the ground, the soil at the base of the tree is damp, wet. And your hands come away red from where you've been digging at the earth. The red of blood is on your hands.
Show it to everybody. Now that is peculiar. Marshall, you've been here the whole time. I have not gone out and killed anyone.
No, but the whole town and all of us were killed last night.
By each other. Because something made us do it.
Yep.
And what would it have, whatever made us do it, what would it have gained? I mean, could it have used the blood from all the people?
Well, it brought one of the lamp-eyed dead to tell us.
Yep. There's a blood debt. And looking at the tree. The debt for the tree?
Or for what it represents.
That tree is awful healthy. It represents prosperity.
So they've been, someone else might know this is not Gertie, but does the tree look healthier than it did a few days ago?
See, that's hard to say because I don't think you all studied the tree. It's such a fixture. Everyone just kind of looks past it, don't they?
Well, I got to tell you, I don't think whatever is going on is over by far. Because way too many people woke right back up this morning for any kind of debt to be paid.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
And I'm going to tell you right now, that thing I saw in the mist, I don't think it's doing it. I think it's patrolling to make sure folks that wander into the mist get turned right back around.
Why?
I see.
Why, if it wasn't doing it? Why would it care at all?
Maybe it's in cahoots with whatever is doing it.
Well, it's pretty much official. We're dealing with something not natural here, I'm sure.
Well, that's obvious.
Speak the obvious.
Did y'all find anything at all since? Because I know I left right after we got up. I didn't know what y'all did.
We went to check the mayor's office. I tried to look for any history of the town. I didn't find anything.
Oddly enough, it's empty of records for the town. But we did find something here. Produce a card.
When you see
and show it to
when you see that card, Lovey, you've seen it before. You don't know where, you don't know how, you don't know when. But there's an unease just seeing it.
Let me take a closer gander at that. And she reaches for it.
You've
Let her
definitely
have a look at it.
You've definitely seen it before. No idea.
With the same engraving?
Same thing. You've seen that card. And you're uneasy holding it.
She's going to flip it over. Is there anything on the back?
Nothing. Not much of a business card with no way to contact anybody, is it?
It's not a business card. She mutters that out loud. I think this is a marker.
Marker.
Well, the R would be for Remy, would it not? His name was Remington.
Hmm.
But it ain't something he had made himself. It was given to him. I'm certain of it, because I've seen it somewhere else. And I don't know where, and I don't know when. And she hands it over.
I'm going to take a closer look at it before I put it away.
I'm going to smear my thumb over the R.
Noble.
Yeah.
If it had a number or a way to contact a person or a name or something, you might call it a business card. It's definitely not cheap, very expensively made. The gold on it might even actually be gold leaf embedded in the paper. It's hard to tell. You don't get that uneasy feeling, though, that Lovey had for sure.
Oh, she didn't say shit about that.
I know, but for you, it's a business card. You've not seen its like before.
Before he puts it away, I want to smear some of the blood on the R. See if that does anything.
Yeah.
You smear blood on the R. Nothing happens.
Don't you know better than to put blood just forever? You never know what'll happen.
Assuming that this is a marker for Remy, and that the R stands for him, and that he's the one that didn't get back up, the blood here at the tree, I would assume, is his debt. Marking the marker with his blood would have done something, I think. We're in dark territory here, so trying anything and everything is going to be my forte.
It was his death. I imagine that his death would absolve it.
Now, that is an interesting hypothesis, Preacher Green. I do wonder if others have a gold card.
Now that is a lead worth following, I think.
I hear you. Got another thing on my mind here. Mr. Gilpin, you might know more about it than the others, but did Remy have a wife at any time? I don't recall him, with a partner.
Voice of the mountain?
As long as you've known Remy in this town. Nope. But judging by his daughter's age, his daughter's about in her 40s by guesstimate, I'll say. Something could have happened to his wife long ago. Wouldn't know.
I don't really recall him having anybody recently. I mean, his daughter, she.
Well, I guess it's obvious that he because his daughter, he had
somebody
wife or partner or something like that. Common law wife or something.
As far as back as I can remember, I don't remember anybody.
Okay, so he didn't have anybody recently. That's interesting. Okay. Smart will look at the tree and just kind of think to himself a bit here.
I'm going to look at the tree and look at Gertie. Gertie, how long do you think it would take you to chop this bitch down? Excuse my French.
How long does Gertie think?
You could do it. It'd take you a little bit. I mean, you don't have a full axe. You could go get an axe from the general store pretty easy, though. Go a lot quicker if you had a full-size axe. I mean, it's 30-year-old tree is a pretty big tree.
Couple hours, maybe rest. But but I'm not taking the first swing. And she'll hand him the hatchet.
Say we hold up on doing any swinging for the time being, but I'm not entirely against that if we have to do it.
Alright.
I wonder why it
And-
tasted like it'd been on fire.
There is a story about it burning a long time ago. I don't know if it's relevant to why it still tastes like it or smells like it's smoke now, but it was on fire once.
There's no way this tree would look that healthy if it had been burned.
It's also only 30 years old.
What
You
on
know-
earth?
Yeah, if we run into Remy's daughter, we could ask her about what happened, about her mother, where she is or where she went.
That'd be something to look into.
Like we said earlier, we also ask her if she knows about the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was
that might
closer
be
to
our
her
next stop
desk.
right there.
I think I might go grab an axe just to be safe. But
I'll hold on to this hatchet.
no. Takes it back. That's my work hatchet. You can come get an axe with me. I'm sure there's multiple.
No,
I'm gonna be alright.
Shanky, voice of the mountain, gamekeeper, whatever
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Would any of us have ever really noticed whether Remy spent a lot of time paying attention or tending this tree? Like it was something important to him?
No, everybody in the town seemed to just assume the tree was there. I mean, they all talked about gathering around the cedar tree was a frequent meeting point because it's the center of town, but nobody ever really cared for it. It just grew right there. I'm sure at some point you must have seen, get her name so I don't say the wrong person. You must have seen Charlie Joe Harrison out there, maybe trimming a little bit because she's always had that green thumb. She loves to putter around with the plants in the town. But nobody really seemed to pay much attention to it.
There's someone else that's been here just as long, if not longer.
I also have a theory about why maybe this tree is as healthy as it continues to be. Maybe we're not the first people in this town to have to die for the debt.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I do have to wonder what Miss Adeline Witt has to say on things. Her husband was very much in denial of any deals, but she was notably silent. And it is awful strange for a woman in her age having a child that is only 10. She should have been well past her courses.
She never had an older daughter that passed or anything that she took over. That's her grandfather.
All
her
the kids are
granddaughter.
sons.
All of their children are sons. That is also a bit unusual.
It is.
I think I may go pay them a visit. See how they're doing after all the stress of the evening.
How many boys do they have?
5.
And I'll just remind you, it's on the thing I gave you all at the start. They age from 30 years old to 10.
They are all trouble. Every
Right.
last one of them.
5 years apart, too.
Mm-hmm. Every 5 years, she has popped out a son.
The youngest is 10,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a girl.
It's almost too convenient.
There's quite a bit of oddness with all this.
Wait, how old was the oldest? You said 30?
30. Yep. That puts
30.
a 5-year gap between each kid.
So, I'll be happy to meet with y'all back here if you'd like.
Sure.
But I just have a sneaking suspicion that Mrs. Witt knows something.
Quite probably.
That would make sense. I mean,
Oftentimes, men
30.
like to overlook the women folk. I
They
don't.
do. Although I would recommend taking somebody with you.
I'm not too
Just,
concerned.
Uh-huh.
Where
Fair
do you
enough.
want to? Where do you want to go, Marshall? You're not
Let's
gonna go
talk
with her.
let's talk with the real mayor. See what she has to say. She's in a position where she's grieved a bit. I mean, we can stop broaching a couple questions if it's prudent. If not, then perhaps after a bit. Maybe look into some of these other families that are around here too.
Right.
I have a suspicion it's not just the one that's up to something. Sound like this? And if Miss Sinclair is right, there's more in the town here that are involved in this blood debt than just one group, one people, one family.
No. Shake it. About what time of day is it right now?
At this point, I'd put it getting close to noon.
Okay.
It's hard to tell exactly because, well, you don't see the sun through the fog that seems to be enshrouding the whole place. Though the fog doesn't touch foot into town itself, just around the outside and above you.
As Levy walks closer to the tree to walk by it to head to the north side of town where the Witts live, she's going to take a look at where the preacher had dug around the roots to see if the roots look odd.
No, they look like roots. They're red from the blood.
And she just shakes her head. Don't make no damn sense. The roots look normal, y'all. Just red with blood. She just shakes her head and keeps walking north.
As Lovey goes to speak with the Witts, the rest of the group is going to go try to catch the mayor's daughter. The real mayor will just say Serenity Hurst.
Gertie is getting an axe.
And Gertie's going to go locate an axe. Probably from the general store.
While that's happening, I'm going to subtly motion to Miss Sinclair that I want to talk with her off to the side really quick. And
go ahead. We'll do that real quick.
Miss Sinclair.
Yes, Marshall.
Yes, I'm looking around while everybody's doing their thing and getting ready or waiting on Gertrude and stuff. That trick that you did, you know the trick. Could that be employed in, like, let's say, curse to turn a person into a tree?
I don't think so. Most of what I've learned, my grandmother taught me, but she's not around for me to ask anymore. So
right. It stands for, well, here's my thought on this, and I'm sharing it with you because we have an understanding on some things. If you could do what you can do, it stands to my thought that somebody could do something similar to turn someone into a tree, and I wonder if that's not somebody that has been hexed.
That is very possible.
I mean, trees don't bleed.
Or it could be the consequence of not repaying the debt when it needed to be paid.
I'll
There are
buy
many
that.
reasons.
Yeah. Well, it could be both.
That is also possible.
That's one. I got some ideas here. Unfortunately, they're very dark and bad, and I got nothing to go by. Hopefully, we'll get an answer to. I'm just a little concerned about running in, maybe chopping that tree down just because it's unnatural. It might not be the best of things. Then again, it might have to be the thing we do.
Or we could possibly find a different way. I agree that chopping the tree is not the best option.
One thing I didn't tell the others is that, in the case of, shall we say, a lot of the stones that are in the centers of villages or towns, in my experience, they're considered to be, well, shall we say, important on the subtle level.
I understand.
And that tree, and I seem to recall from my Scottish heritage tales of, individuals who became trees or plants and stuff. Something my old granny would tell me. Kind of comes to mind, which just makes me wonder that if this might be something we're actually seeing here.
If someone does have the power to do that, they're not gonna tell you upright.
Of course not. They'll keep it to themselves. This is something above and beyond what we all deal with. Yeah. Let's go see if we can get some more answers. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Marshall.
As the group splits up to do their separate investigation here, I think right here, everybody, we're going to go to break. Please enjoy the music provided by the wonderful Shawn James. We will see you in 9 minutes, not 10, because that's where the music ends. See you soon.
Crash.
Welcome back. Yeah, talking about the Crocs crashing. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break,
She had just woken up and getting murdered.
they found out they got a bleeding tree. They investigate in the mayor's office. They found an odd business card with an R stylized on it. And there was a shotgun there that had the oddest kind of plaque with it. That was in Latin, of all things, which, let's be fair, you're in the Appalachian Mountains. Not a lot of people would know Latin for sure. That said, in the absence of light, darkness prevails. But as we left off, Lovey, you were heading over to see the Wits. The rest of the group was going to go see Serenity Hurst, daughter of Remy, or Remington as he was actually named. So let's deal with that part first. Gertrude, though, is heading over to get an axe. Wade, you were wanting to go with her?
Yeah, I'm going with Gertie.
Okay, so the two of you are heading over to get an axe. Let's go with Julia, the Preacher Green, and the Marshal as you head over to find... Well, Serenity is right where you left her. She's in the morgue mourning over her father's body. As you come in, she's muttered to herself she can't believe she killed him. You come to arrest me, Marshal?
No, ma'am, we're under unusual circumstances here. I do not think that what happened is by any volition of any of us.
Serenity, do you think that you're in a right proper state to answer some questions for us? This has been no shortage of questions that have been popping up, and we can show you some answers if you're mentally up for it.
I don't know if I'm up for it or not. Preacher Green, I think you're going to have to try to persuade her here a little bit. Time for the speaker to flex a little there. That's obviously going to be an intellect roll. You do have persuasion trained, so you get the bonus on that.
I think I put a level of effort towards it then.
Okay.
Use it twice.
That'll give you lower difficulty by 2.
And in any way, shape, or form, I'm gonna use this whole little bit to start my fast talk.
Okay.
So just in case I do fail this, I'll start throwing some jibber jabber at her.
And I'm gonna give you an extra easement on it because, well, you are the preacher of the town, and you're the one they'd like to confide in. So I'll give you an extra on that as well. So I'm easing you by 3.
Well, I got a 17, so that's the beginning of a critical success track.
You don't get a minor effect for it, unfortunately.
No.
But if it was combat, you'd get a bonus. She kind of, preacher, I mean, it's kind of rough on me, but Remy would always say, it doesn't matter how you feel, you've got a job to do, you got to do it. What kind of
you're not
questions you got?
alone. You're not alone, so right now I'll sit with her and I'll hold her hand. And I'm here if you need a pillar, so.
I do appreciate that, Preacher Green. I do appreciate it.
Come on, how long we known each other? Go easy on her, Marshall.
10 years or so?
It's my attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Serenity, for your help, too.
If it gets to the bottom of this, if it helped me figure out who's to blame for this, because I swear I killed him.
It wasn't you. It was some force acting through you. So don't put that in your head. We're going to get to the bottom of it.
That's why I want to ask some questions, is so we can get to the bottom as to who's behind all this.
Okay, well, what kind of questions you got, Marshall? And she kind of holds your hand a little tighter, Preacher Green.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
First of all, do you have any... we noticed there's a lack of a lot of documentation for the town. Is that something that you and Remy would keep at your place?
Not really, Marshall. There's no records left. They burned up at one point.
That happens all too common.
It was before I was born at all. I was told it burned up.
So there's been a history of fire here in the town?
Well, and there was fire shortly after I was born. Cedarwood fire that happened. I was told during that fire, not long after it at least, a lot of the records, there's another fire that broke out.
Yeah. I've got a offhanded question here. We have to find this. Do you know what this represents? No. Hold up the card to her.
Well, Marshall, yeah, that some slick city guy came by last week. Came by the mayor's office. Left that card with me. Kind of tall. Had some gray at his temples, had a thin beard, nice suit. Definitely not from around here with that kind of suit. Said he worked for the railroad.
Railroad? Like
he was wanting to buy land through here.
So somebody from Barrow and Locke? Or one of the other railroads?
He didn't say which one. He just said he was wanting to buy some land through here.
Did he tell a rumor that the railroad wanted to come through this area? Yeah,
he was asking about who, who'd be willing to sell, who wouldn't.
So he was talking to some of the folk of the town.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Okay.
I mean, I told him that, we don't make those decisions. That's up to the owners of the land is all I told him. And he smiled and said, the railroad's ever onward. Ever forward,
And anything particular notable happen other than him talking with the various people of the town here when he came through?
I don't know.
I
don't know who all he talked to. I mean, he came in, talked to me and Remy he talked to me for a bit. Remy just couldn't hear a damn thing he said.
Yeah. I understand.
He left that card with me and said he'd be in touch. And I thought it was a fool thing because there's no number or anything to contact him. So I just threw it in the back of the drawer. Another one of them damn slick ass city boys coming in here.
That's apparently the thing these days. They give you like a little bit of a mystery card saying they'll come back and stuff there. You know, that's how some of these city slickers operate, whether or not they're legit. I mean, that's a whole totally different matter. It tends to be, I find it tends to be from up north more than around these parts.
And I told them there wasn't going to be much chance of people selling their land to them around here. Most of these families, it's what we got, what we have.
Yeah.
Land's important.
Well, the railroad would be nice. I can see why it would also be a problem, too.
Yeah, it would. You know how it is when a railroad comes through. It always causes problems. First the railroad comes, then you start getting some of those shady types in town. Next thing you know, you got a brothel set up. And
well,
we don't need all that here.
Yeah, I know it all too well. It starts going in my territory and away from the local constabulary.
Yeah, then you get one of them B&L boys running around. Ain't nothing good come from that group.
No doubt about that. I have to deal with their lot quite a bit.
This might seem like an odd question, but did your mother or your father ever mention about owing somebody a debt?
My mother, I never met her. She died giving birth to me. He said right about the time of that cedarwood fire, she died giving birth.
Right.
Father didn't really talk much about her.
Sounds like your father was rather dedicated to your mother there.
He was. He wasn't the same afterwards, I'm sure. I mean, you saw him. He bit
talk about her
brain.
much. Do you talk about her much to you there? Stories about her or you know?
Every once in a while when he was drinking, he'd bring her up. Kept saying I reminded him of her. And just, he didn't really talk a whole lot about her, though, because I have a feeling he must have blamed himself for something.
Loss is painful.
But that, like I said, that was all. I don't know any of that stuff. It's as the night I was born.
Yeah. You need to go get some rest, Serenity.
Yes.
I think you've been quite helpful for us, and we're sorry that if we pushed you, but we appreciate your help here. You know, I think go rest up. You've been here an awful time, and it'll do you some good to get some air in you. You know, walk around a bit.
I don't know if I can go home in that house after with him gone. Maybe I'll go up and see Ellie Jane, and maybe she'll put me up, let me stay a night at the boarding house just to.
Yeah.
So I can.
I do what you need to do
ready.
there, and we'll keep you informed with the mayoral duties and such, since you are, for lack of a better term, mayor now.
Everyone knows I've been mayor the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, official elections and such notwithstanding, you still are authority here, and we will keep you posted as to anything we find.
Just the barest hint of a smile. These damn fools will probably reelect him again even after this.
Doesn't surprise me. I hear tell something similar happening not too far away in another town.
Almost like it's a tradition around here. Okay.
Also, hear tell the tale of another tale.
I'll go get some rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't mind me and my stories there. You go get some rest there.
Thank you, Preacher Green, for
thank you.
the kind words.
Yeah, always.
And I hope I was a help there, Marshall.
Not a problem. You're a very big help. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll help her up and I'll just give her a nice warm hug.
And as she walks from the room, she doesn't walk fast. You can tell she's it's more of a shuffle. Her spirit's definitely not what you're used to. Her back that was normally ramrod straight, she's kind of walking hunched a bit, not as sure of herself as usual. And I'll let you all, if you need a discussion here around the body, you can have one before I flash to someone else's scene.
Marshall, you mind if I hold on to that card?
Hand it over. No problem. It'll help us out.
Yeah,
I find it strange that the records caught fire the same time the tree.
awfully convenient that. Awfully convenient if someone wanted to get rid of something.
Mm. And when we're away from our illustrious mayor, yeah, I'm thinking more and more that Miss Lovey has some pretty good ideas on things.
So as you
We're
all
dealing
sit
with a
back,
bigger
go ahead.
situation.
Go ahead, Marshall.
I think we're dealing with a bigger situation involving more people.
Mm-hmm. Safe bet.
So as you all are heading out from the courthouse that serves both the courthouse, the mayor's office, pretty much everything town-wise, administration goes right there. We're flashing to Gertie and Wade. You've headed over to see Gabriel Trinity Hartman's South Gap General Store. When you come up to the door, I mean, the sign says open, but you don't see anybody inside right now.
Gertie walks in.
Yeah, I'll follow in behind her.
And as you walk in, you hear the bell that's above the door ring out as you're going through it. And it doesn't take long before Gabriel Hartman comes out. Didn't expect to see anybody in today. Sorry, Trinity's not going to be coming down. She needs a rest. She's not handling things very well right now.
Surprised you're working. Are you handling things well?
To be fair, no, I'm not. But that don't mean I can close this general store. This is everyone relies on us. I didn't expect anybody to come through, but you don't let the town down by not being open if they need something. Obviously, you need something, so what can I do for you?
I need an axe.
I can get you one of those. Give me a second.
Absolutely.
And he heads on into the back, and as you're walking around, you notice inside the place, the paint inside is a little bit faded, a little bit chipped in places. The floor doesn't have the sheen of the wax flooring that they had before, where they'd oiled and waxed the floors. It's a little scuffed, a little damaged. Not like it was the day before.
She's gonna go. Sorry, she's gonna go look at like some of like the dairy products, in particular like milk of some sort, and see if that's like bad.
Okay.
Not drink it, but I'm sure you can shake it and you can tell if it's chunky or not.
To get to the milk, you open up the ice chest that they have, one of their old-fashioned style with the big block of ice in the bottom, and the milk in it doesn't seem curdled or anything. Looks like normal milk. And it's about that time you're looking at it when Gabriel comes out. He's got an axe in his hand. Looks pretty brand new. It's freshly sharpened if you need it. You want me to put this on the books for you? I know you're good for it.
Yeah, let's do that. Wait, do you need one or are you?
I don't have need of one of them, but I think you having it'd be good enough.
Just want to make sure. Looks like some paint and stuff showing up. Do you need anything repaired?
That's damnedest thing. It wasn't like this before. I was just looking down at the floor and realized, I swear I did the floors last month, but it looks like I got to do the floors again. The paint will have to wait. The floor I think's more important.
Has it ever been this bad? I don't remember it being this bad.
No, we don't let the floors get like this. I don't know how this, why it's like this now. Must not been paying attention, that's all.
And it's not, I hate to say, it's not just your place. It's everywhere.
That's
Something weird's going on.
Gertie, I'm going to say, after what happened last night, I think something weird's going on, is putting it mildly.
And yet here you are running the general store like nothing happened.
Did we actually kill each other last night?
Seems like.
That's not possible, because here we are. It's like a bad dream.
Well, everybody but one.
Yeah.
Not possible for the floor to be this bad either.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame about old Remy, but let's be fair. He had his long life anyway. I didn't expect him to make it much more. If he made it to summer, I'd have been surprised.
Oh yeah, I expected he got a few years in him. You never know with Remy.
Yeah, but...
Deceptive like that.
Yeah. And I'm not fine, trust me. Papa always told me. He said, you bury yourself in work. When things are rough, bury yourself in work. So that's what I'm doing. Burying myself in the work. It's the only thing I got.
You know what's weird? All the buildings are old. Food's still good.
You didn't change out the milk or anything today, did you?
I know. Ice still good for a few more days. Farmer brought that in. I was going to say yesterday, but day before the festival. So, I figure I still got another 2-3 days before the ice is melted. Hopefully another person comes through with some more ice for us. Gets a little easier in the winter. They come a little more often, which is funny because I guess we don't need it as much in the winter. It's easier to get it.
Yeah, a little bit more to pick from.
Yeah. Don't mind me asking, Gertie, what you planning to do with that axe?
Don't know yet. Just some repairs around town. Seem like they could be better fixed with an axe.
Now you be careful.
Easier to start
with
from
it now.
scratch. Huh?
You be careful with it. Don't, given what happened last night, don't go hurting yourself with it.
That's why good old Wade's here. Wade's got the luck of I don't know, frankly, but
I'd be more concerned for anybody else around her instead of her. She's not going to hurt herself with it.
Don't be hurting anybody else either. I think we got our fill last night, didn't we?
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Ugh. I feel like I need to go back to bed or something. I feel like I ain't slept in a day.
No one's gonna come back in.
Yeah.
You
not
did.
very
Somebody
likely.
else might too.
Yeah, not very likely.
You know I'm always working.
So am
That's
I.
different.
So am I. Y'all take care of yourself. I think I'm going to go
Thanks,
back
Gabriel.
and make me a drink.
Make it a stiff one.
That's probably about what I'm planning.
Hmm.
Then he goes back. You can hear him going back to the back of the store. They got their little kitchen because they live above the store. Leaving Gertrude and Wade with Gertie's got the big old nice axe, and it is freshly sharpened. It doesn't show any signs of age in the axe either.
Is there anything like merchandise-wise that shows signs of age?
None of the merchandise.
Okay.
Only the paint, the floor, a couple of the shelves.
Yeah, something we need this building's been here a long time. I mean, the merchandise and everything in here hasn't. I mean, that's all new, but the building itself is pretty old.
Been here 10 years.
Hmm.
So, something, I don't know. There's some distinction between what's older and what's not.
What do you think's going on? I mean, the reason I tagged on with you because you're the most normal person I know around here.
I mean, we're the only ones who did not taste anything with that sap.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I don't know. Something I would rather not have been involved with.
Yeah, well, a little late for that.
It wasn't really our choice.
No.
But I don't know. Someone got involved with something they shouldn't.
It's all that talk about deep deals being made.
How many deals? And like, Lovey told me about the thing she saw, right?
Yeah.
She didn't describe it. She just said,
She did not describe it. She just said a creature not of this earth.
Okay, well, that's good enough. Lovey seeing things?
Right, yeah.
Well, that's fucking Lovey. But there's multiple. We've all heard stories about like multiple factions here. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
but which one is causing this is the real thing.
Yeah, and I don't have a clue.
I wonder the plants yesterday.
Mhm.
They were with the green. Is that right? Is that what I've heard someone say?
The like the kudzu man?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And that's
yeah. Whose garden was that, Jackie?
that would have been one of the Harrisons. That was Charlie Joe Harrison's garden. Well, it was the town's garden, but the Harrison family, Charlie Joe, donated that plot of land to make a community garden in. But everyone knew she was the one who loved the garden the most, so she was always fooling with it.
Yeah, Charlie Joe. And she was a mite upset about her garden getting tore up.
I wonder though if that's like a sign of the other factions being pushed out of town, so this could happen.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, I don't know. This is a great mystery to me.
I kind of want to go watch the rest of the people in town and see if they're.
That's a great idea. Just see if we can see something going on. Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, also should probably keep an eye out to make sure none of them are getting too rowdy. You can't have another yesterday.
Let's hope not. All right, let's go and just have a peek.
So Wade and Gertie are going to go peek around town, see if anyone's moving. And at that point, we're going to flash over to Lovey. Lovey, you've gone up to, let's be fair, Harrison's got the biggest house in town.
Oh, yes, he does.
Nice big old piece of land right on the edge of town.
Right.
Where the fog bank actually butts up against the back of his property. Doesn't touch his house. It's pretty damn close to the back of his house, though. And as you come up to the house, the door's answered actually by their housekeeper, Minnie. She's a rather old colored lady that, as far as you know, been here a while with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Minnie, it's a pleasure to see you.
How you doing, ma'am?
Doing as well as I can, How are you?
I'm fine. A strange business last night, and it didn't hit me right.
I don't think it's hit any of us right, Minnie.
I wasn't down. Mr. Witt told me what happened. I wasn't down at the town. I was here in the house.
Did something happen to you here?
cut my wrist with the knife.
Oh, Minnie.
But here I stand. I don't make no sense to me. And he told me what happened to him, and it don't make no sense there either.
I don't even know who got me. There was such a rush of people.
It's not good, that's for sure.
Is the lady of the house home?
Miss Adeline, she's up in the parlor. Let me have you come in and go sit in the sitting room, and I'll go see if she's able to talk.
I would like to thank her for sending her sons to help with the food yesterday.
Yes, ma'am. I'll go up and check on her.
Thank you. And she goes and sits in the sitting room.
And as you're sitting in the sitting room, you hear her go about the house, and you're not there long when Robert Witt Sr. steps in the room. Lovey.
Mr. Witt.
Are you okay?
What a silly question to ask, considering all things.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to deal with, isn't it?
Indeed.
Any ideas what's going on?
Not rightly, but I'm looking into it.
I don't know. Don't make no sense to me. Who you here to see?
The missus.
I'll leave you to it then. I'll go check on them damn fool boys, see if they're okay.
They were a big help with the food. I do appreciate y'all sending them.
Well, that was Adeline. She does that.
I figured as much. That's why I came to thank her.
I know you don't put all the stock in the ceremony of it all, but I don't show up until it's time to light the fire. That's my place as the head of this house and all.
Yeah.
You be careful with Adeline. She's not taking it well.
Of course she isn't. Nobody is.
She can't believe that bitch Charlie Joe stabbed her.
There's a lot of animosity between those two.
Yeah, well, ain't no secret our families never got along.
Goodness, they ain't been here that long, have they?
Not really, but, you know, much like when you're raising pigs, you get one big one in there in the pen and he won't tolerate others around. It seems that's kind of the same kind of thing our families got into is this ain't a big enough town to have both families in at times, it seems.
Ah. Yes, I understand.
Always pushing against each other.
It's a shame y'all just can't seem to come to an agreement.
Yeah, I tried. I'll be fair, damn upstarts. I got no respect for,
For old money, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand.
I mean, I get it. We all start somewhere, but not like this. I mean, even if we all start somewhere, we got to respect our betters, don't we?
That's what they say.
That's what I was taught.
Of course.
Well, I hear Adeline coming down. I'll leave you to it.
Take care,
Yeah.
Mr. Witt.
I'll be all right. I'm the rock. I'll hold on. Always do.
And she just nods. And when he turns and leaves, she just mutters under her breath, and rocks do crack.
And as he's going from the room, you hear Adeline coming in. She's obviously been crying. Her eyes still puffy. Her nose is red from it. It's good to see you, Lovey.
Mrs. Witt, please. I don't want to burden you. I just wanted to come and thank you for sending your boys to help me out yesterday.
Minnie, can you give Miss Lovey here a drink? Minnie just, yes, ma'am, and scurries out of the room. It's no problem.
I appreciate your hospitality.
It's no problem. You didn't have to come all the way out here to thank me.
It's not like anything's going on at the inn today, and it was going to be rude of me if I didn't come and thank you.
No, it's fine. Given what happened last night, I don't think it really matters now, does it? I mean, that
What did happen last night, ma'am?
That bitch stabbed me.
I know.
I know that. Somehow I'm here. But guess we killed each other out there. All of us.
Yeah.
Makes no damn sense to me. We killed each other. Why are we still here? Why, if it's a bad dream, why do we all have the same dream?
And even your housekeeper was driven to harm herself.
Yeah. I haven't talked to a lot, but all the servants here said the same thing. They were hurting themselves.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
No, Lovey, I haven't. This is something beyond me. I've not even heard of something like this. Not this. I've heard of people going not right in the head and injuring people around them.
Oh, of course.
But once they die, they stay dead. That's how that works.
It is disconcerting, I will tell you.
Yeah, it is.
I have some questions if you don't mind answering. And of course, you can tell me no, that you're not going to answer them and that it's none of my business. But I'm trying to figure out what is going on.
I guess that would depend on the questions, wouldn't it?
Of course it would. And you have every right. I'm just trying to figure out what is going on and why.
I'd love to hear some ideas on what's going on, because I sure as hell can't explain nothing.
Ma'am, of course rumors abound in small towns. It is the nature of things. Rumors that you and your husband are of an age, look remarkably young for your age, and you had fertility well past your prime.
Yeah. Look, I'll be fair. I don't know how old Robert is. We don't really talk about that. That's not the important thing. But I've been married to him for 35 years now. And he's gotten older, got a little more gray in the temples, got a little aged up like all of us do.
Have you ever lost any?
Any what?
Of your children?
That's a strange question, but no, I haven't. Each one been born healthy little boy. Why would you ask that?
I'm curious. Because the new money, they explained how they came into their position. I know your family's old money. But when I questioned the entire town, when Remy resurrected for a time and mentioned a blood debt, you were notably silent.
It's not my place to talk about money.
Blood debts aren't money.
See, I don't know nothing about all that blood debt stuff. I didn't hear any of that.
I understand you's in shock.
I mean, if you're wondering where our money comes from, Robert's family's been well off. He got a sizable inheritance, which he's prudently invested over the years.
Indeed, I'm sure.
Now it's in his retirement where he don't worry about all that anymore. He's got somebody up in New York that handles all that stuff. They just send him, statements saying how much we've got, that kind of thing.
Could I possibly take a look at your family Bible?
I mean, sure, it's no secret. Give me a second, I'll go get it for you.
Thank you.
And she gets up and she comes back with a thick leather
Oh,
bound.
yeah. It's a big old book.
Yeah.
And Lovey takes it, and she's very gentle with it. She understands this is an old book. She opens it up and looks to the family tree.
Mhm.
Every family Bible has.
Yep, right in the front of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you looking for in the family tree?
How many times there's been nothing but boys born to a generation?
Looks like that happens often in the Witt family. Family tree, as it goes back, only shows sons born of the line. No daughters. Not anywhere in the Bible.
It is really interesting that this family has never birthed any daughters.
You know, I brought that up because I had wanted a daughter, and Robert told me that that's not how his family is. He laughed and said that's their curse.
Their curse.
Yeah, that was his laugh.
Interesting. Very interesting turn of phrase.
Well, y'all only see one part of him. You see when he's trying to
The
be
prim and proper, yes, I know.
he's trying to be the lord of the house in some ways, and trying to set the example. He's not always like that. He's a good man.
What you know about the cedar tree, ma'am?
It's the center of town. Been here since I've been here. 35 years I've been here. It's been right there.
As it stands now?
No, it's grown over your time. I remember when I came here, it was a small thing. Wasn't nearly as big as it was now. It kind of,
Did it ever burn?
not as far as I know.
Fascinating. You see, I have, well, she takes out a letter and she hands it to the missus. As you see, I'm actually quite well versed in the area of botany.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the letter from her professor that showed her exemplary completion of her program.
That's interesting in these days and age, because you don't see many learned women up in these parts.
Well, I wasn't in these parts when I studied.
Yeah, you're relatively new here.
Yes. And she takes the letter back and puts it in her bag and says, I studied that cedar tree this morning because something just struck me unusual about it. For one, cedars don't grow and thrive in this region.
That's true, but it's been here, center of town, since I got here.
And it is an incredibly healthy specimen.
Yeah.
And when I took just a tiny little sample of the bark, it bled like I had stabbed it.
That don't happen. That's a tree. I ain't never seen no bleeding tree.
I hadn't either till it happened.
I don't know.
I've taken many a sample of tree bark in my time studying.
Maybe it's just a bit of whatever happened last night leaking over on you. Just
Oh, no.
seeing things.
Others saw, too.
I don't have an explanation for that.
But truly, it's fascinating your husband called it a curse.
Yeah, that's what he joked about. That's the family curse. All the boys drove his mother crazy.
I'm going to look back at the family Bible and see about how many years passed between generations.
By the notes of it, there does seem to be a pattern to it of no kids are, some of them are more than 5 years, but no kids are born less than 5 years apart.
And how long before the next generation starts producing children?
Well, right now, none of the kids have on this current tree that he's got here.
But the
His
youngest
kids-
is 10.
Yep.
So looking back the generation prior, how old was the youngest when the first had his son?
The oldest was about 30, 35. They seem to get married late in life, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have kids unnaturally late judging by the ages.
In this family tree, she will also be able to see the Mrs. birth date.
Which one? Adeline Witt?
Mm-hmm.
Adeline Witt, by the birth date listed, she says she'd been married 35 years. She was 20 when she married him. So that would put her at about 55 years old. She is, if you believe what people say in the town, she's 15 years his younger.
And she just looks and she says, I know it's not unusual for us to be married to men that are well older than us. I can understand also why that is not discussed.
No, it was family arranged thing.
Yes.
Binding of the houses, money for money. I just got lucky and he turned out to be a good man. Can't say it always happens
Who
that way.
burdens you with nothing but troublesome boys?
Well, that's true. That is true, but they've all been healthy, haven't lost any. I can't complain on that.
You are very fortunate. And when Lovey says that, there is a bit of sadness in her eyes.
What do you think this all has to do with what's going on here?
I worry that if your husband has claimed this as a curse, and this family has been tied in this land for a long time, that there is a blood debt owed because a deal was made perhaps generations back within your husband's family.
My family, we ain't been there that long. Not that many generations back. Hell, we moved here. Robert was here. I guess he moved here about 55 years ago, roughly.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was just a teenager when they moved here. Moved here. He joked one time he moved here about time I was born.
Oh,
Like I said, he's not what you see all the time. He's not a bad man.
I may have more questions later. I need to mull some things over and I need to look into a few more things. But understand what I'm trying to do is to help this town and its people to the best of my ability.
I understand it. Everyone's wanting answers probably after what's going on here.
Exactly, they are. And everyone is confused. Everyone is distraught. And I'm concerned that it ain't over yet.
Yeah. If you find anything out, you let me know.
I will do the best I can.
Thank you. Let me see you to the door.
Of course, here's your Bible back, ma'am.
And she takes the Bible, and as she gets up and walks out with you, Minnie is holding a cup of tea, but she is standing right beside the door and wasn't coming in at the time. She was standing right beside the door, probably close enough she could have listened and heard a lot of what was said.
I'm sure she could have, and I don't care. And she said, I'm very sorry I can't partake of the tea. It smells delicious.
Yeah, that's fine. Ma'am, you want it? And Adeline's like, just put it in the kitchen, Minnie. I'll come get it in a second once I escort Miss Lovey out. And housekeeper kind of nods, and you see her scurrying off to the kitchen. I'm glad you stopped in, at least.
And truly, I do appreciate you sending the boys to help me out.
Well, they gotta realize just because they got money, they've got to still be part of the town. They got to be useful members and all.
That sense of community is important.
Why do you think I do the women's auxiliary?
I know.
Keeps me involved in things, keeps me with part of the town. Otherwise, we set up in this house and
do nothing.
Yeah, just fade away.
Indeed. And she kind of does a little bit of a slight bow, a nod, and says, "Thank you for your time."
That's no problem.
And she heads out the door.
Hey, Gertrude and Wade, as you've been walking around town, you see people peeking out the windows of their places every once in a while, fearful looks, but nobody's walking around. You'll get close to a place and somebody will peek out the window at you, just barely see them moving the curtain a little bit before they duck back in. Obviously, people are a bit skittish right now.
Is there like a single person out?
No, just you all. Makes you kind of stand out, I think.
Just a bit, yeah.
Especially just carrying an axe around.
Right.
The axe might have something to do with them scurrying back from the window after peeking out at you, for sure.
You know, wait, this might be for the best that everyone stays inside.
Yeah. Now, let's hope something doesn't happen that brings them all out.
Maybe we guard the tree.
All right.
And, like, make them all stay inside.
All right.
So Gertrude and Wade, Gertie and Wade are going to go and Gertie's going to stand there with a big axe in her hand guarding the tree. That should definitely warn people away for sure. And the marshal and preacher and Julie have come out from the courthouse. I'm sure, we'll go be fine with this here. You've all gathered back at the tree from your respective places after visiting. And I'm going to turn it over for you all for your final scene. I am still upset I haven't got to use intrusions, but nothing in this particular episode didn't really give me a chance to do intrusions, which is upsetting me.
Sure didn't.
Upsetting me. But we'll see. I'll get some in. Don't worry. I'll give it to you, the players, as they've gathered once more. You come up to see Gertie's guarding the tree with an axe. She's not exactly, she's kind of holding it across herself, just slightly intimidating, just a little.
Oh. At ease, soldier.
Yeah, welcome back. Y'all find anything?
So the daughter doesn't know if Remy had any debts, but she did mention that about the time she was born, her mother passed away about the same time. This tree or a tree that was here before caught on fire. Also, the records of the town coincidentally caught on fire at the same time.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if a fire of some sort clearly happened like 30 years ago, and it could have been two separate fires, but also the whole town could have burned? Does anyone know?
I haven't got any indication of the whole town burning, but there's definitely at least one, maybe two fires involved. One involving the tree, one involving at the courthouse.
So Gertie has worked on a lot of the buildings. Could she tell how old would she know how old the oldest one is by looking like
the oldest town in the building?
The oldest building in
the town would be the Witt's house at this point.
Mm-hmm. But it's on the outskirts.
Mm-hmm. It's the oldest one.
How old is that one?
He moved here 55 years ago.
And Lovey
then
says,
the next one?
Next one, judging by their ages, 40 years, 45 years, in that 50-year, it's hard to tell exactly.
Okay.
And Lovey arrives and she catches the tail end of it and says, Mr. Witt moved here as a teenager about 55 years ago.
55 years.
Either Lovey, Julie, when you were at the respective buildings, did any of those buildings look like they were aged or kind of decrepit?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, noticeably more so than...
Yes.
Yeah.
And the servants that were in the Witt house last night and not at the festival were inspired to harm themselves to the point of their own demise.
Oh, so they didn't escape it even not being in the town.
Indeed.
That's not good.
The Witt family, for as many generations as goes back in their family Bible, has had nothing but male children.
Mhm.
Mr. Witt jokingly told his wife it was the family curse because she
Mhm.
always wished for a daughter.
Well, that is interesting.
Why would a family be cursed to have only heirs?
What if it's not a curse?
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. Always have male heirs. That expands the family.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantees line of succession. Even
Mm-hmm.
yeah, especially as even with second, third, or fourth sons.
Right.
That's still succession right there.
And it appears that they marry a little bit older, usually in their 30s. Women that are younger. Mrs. Witt is 15 years younger. I was able to get her date of birth.
Mm-hmm.
She is approximately 55 years old now.
He doesn't look 70.
But he is.
Looking good for 70, I'll say that much.
Yeah, so the heirs maintain youthfulness and virility well past their primes.
Mm-hmm.
And they have multiple sons each generation.
Yeah. That's not a basis of what would be a blood debt. I wouldn't know.
And they are never born less than 5 years apart. That is just too rigid to be natural.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you there. We got two unnatural things here. We got a town that's been around a while, but yet most everything can only be traced back to
About 50, 55 years ago.
Yeah, about 50, 55 years ago. Possible fire, multiple fires involved with the town changing.
And a tree healthy as can be that tastes like ash and molasses and blood.
Yeah.
I do think we have quite a bit more than just those couple things.
Oh, we do.
We do. In fact, actually, I think we got an answer on what our card here with the letter A is all about.
What's that?
Apparently, there was a gentleman from the railroad coming through here. Now, I've been hearing rumors all up and down this area, and even here in the town, that the railroad's coming through. Well, apparently, it is coming through, and there's some interest in it coming through. And this gentleman was coming in here to solicit various families about their land.
What did the gentleman look like?
From what was conveyed to us, the gentleman was tall, middle-aged, grand at the sides, wearing a fine pinstripe suit, black beard, I think.
Close enough.
Does that strike anything with me? If I've seen the card, have I seen the man?
You've seen the man. You don't know where, you don't know when. But that description is familiar. Don't know who he is, but it's familiar. Briefly, you get a picture of a face in your head, but you don't know how.
Yeah. Nice hat, city slicker, but from what I was told, definitely not Yankee.
I swear I've seen that man, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Why is my memories fucking scrambled? Excuse my nasty tongue.
Oh, yeah. I've heard faced worse things there, man.
So, first off, whatever happened last night should not have happened. I have defenses in place. Second off, I can't remember, and I know I've seen him. That ain't supposed to happen neither. I don't forget things.
I believe you.
I do not believe that Adelaide had anything to do with this debt, but I do believe that that family is involved with it. I'm not certain that Mr. Robert Sr. even has full knowledge of it. It might have just been told to him it's just a curse. Or he might know completely and he's a very good liar.
Hmm.
There are no other wits to question that are older than Robert, so
Exactly. I didn't truly have a chance to speak with him today. I had a nice conversation with his wife. But as nice as I can have conversations, that is. But if I get the opportunity, I will interrogate Mr. Whip. Because he was adamantly denying it when I accused anyone of making a deal.
I'm kind of thinking he may not be part of it, but might be a result of it.
Right. And he's bound to know something.
True.
He could have been protecting his wife from knowing of it. I don't know. He's very protective of her. He wanted me to be gentle with her because she wasn't taking things well.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thinking this. Yep.
but whatever that thing is out in the mist, patrolling, because that's exactly what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And a strange man that I can't remember coming in here and giving gold cards to people. And the one we know of that got a card dropped dead and stayed dead. Yet I have seen him and I can't remember his face. I can't remember his name. I've seen the card before, and I don't know where or when. That ain't right.
Well, it's all possible you could have met him the other day because he was here in town. But you
But
could have
why
met
would
him
I have
somewhere
seen
else
the
too.
card and
That's a
not
good
place
question.
where I saw the card?
Mm-hmm. I'm of the opinion this railroad guy is, for lack of a better term, has been stirring up a hornet's nest. Because there doesn't seem to be a problem here until he shows up. I may be going out on a big limb on that, no pun intended, but the whole situation. But
Where'd the mayor's daughter go after y'all spoke with her?
or to go back to her house and try to get some rest. She's been through a bit.
All right. I'm going to head to the inn. I got some questions. I wonder if I saw the card because one was given to the proprietress.
maybe this railroad guy has been apparently pretty aggressive in trying to get some land to build.
And if she has a card, I need to see what letters on it.
Yeah.
So,
Wouldn't it have to be? So if it is this railroad guy, that wouldn't explain the past.
unless he
Am I
comes
wrong?
through every 30 odd years.
The railroad hasn't been around like
Who's to say it's always a railroad?
I don't know anything. It's a railroad salesman.
No. Oh, Gertrude. There are creatures that are unnatural, patrolling the mist. There are things that exist of this world and not of this world that will make deals and then require what is most precious to you as payment.
I think that there could be multiple of those things around,
Mhm.
and there likely are in this instance. And I don't know why the Railroad Man is any more likely than any of the others right now.
As Lovey says that, Lovey, off in the distance at the edge of town, only Lovey can see it right now. Only Lovey notices. Once again, largest damn buck you've ever seen. Hooves wet with a viscous smeared brown. Eyes you can even see from this distance glowing with a foul blood-colored light. And antlers made of amber. But last time they had a low smolder to the light of them. They're glowing a bit brighter right now. From this distance, you'd imagine if you were close, they'd be real bright. And it stomps its hoof.
She
And
looks
fades back
dead.
into the mist. And that's where you hear a door smash suddenly. And then another. And then the carnage starts once again. Resist it, fight it. Gertie, you attacked the tree at first with your axe. Each hack of the tree showering blood everywhere.
I'm going to throw my hot foot powder. Every living creature around me gets tossed back.
Ah,
But the end result is all the same. You hear doors smash, screams. People start showing up in the center of town already covered in blood, already torn. Not as many as you would think. A lot of them didn't make it to the center of town before set upon by the others. And the death ensues. And then you all wake up surrounding this cedar tree that is back. But there's something slightly different. Whereas the cedar tree was in a cleared area, there's now stones at the foot of it. Not one stone, many. The barest top of a foundation of a house can be seen, and the ground around it. And right here is where I'm going to end episode 2 of The Blood Debt. It's morning once again, but things have changed as well. I'd like to thank my players, the viewers. I did not get to do my fun kind of thing of intrusions because really it didn't, it'd be unnatural to inject them with what happened tonight. So I'm going to give everybody 4 XP for 2 episodes worth of intrusions that I just really couldn't do. So everybody can have 4 XP, gives you some XP to spend. Because some people have abilities that use XP. Some people might want to re-roll rolls. So guess what? You can have them. Yeah.
Thanks, Daddy.
There's a
Yeah,
mystery
thank you.
afoot. And there's problems afoot in the town. But you all got some good info this time.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some ideas. And now there's a foundation at the foot of this tree. I guess we'll find out next week what that is. Please join us on the Discord. This is where the cast of this show comes from. We cast all of our shows from the Discord. In the case of this one, I posted up a casting call. I had 6 people apply. I liked the 6 people who applied. I wanted to play with them. I said, that's the table. And I sure as hell am glad I picked the 6 because everyone seems to be coming up with their own ideas and theory to bounce off each other, which is really fleshing shit out. I love it. It was a perfect pick of cast. I'll be fair because you all are bringing different viewpoints that work great for this. So join us on the Discord. We do Zoom Hangouts when we can. It's been kind of tough on us with our schedule of, we've not had time or spoons. That shit happens. If you want to catch
Y'all
our...
love them accents, y'all.
Yeah, I don't do accents very well. I didn't even try this time. If you want to catch our back episodes of this stream or our other streams, pop over to our YouTube. You can see our Kansas City game, which is Vampire, which will be back after this is done. We'll be back with our Kansas City for season 2. But that's when this is over.
3 weeks, yo.
Yep. Got 3 weeks will be the return. You got 2 more weeks of this. And something is afoot. You can catch our other World of Darkness. We got lots of World of Darkness. Even the Changeling that's going on Wednesdays. So go to our YouTube. If you want to see Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, go to Ishvels. That is our wonderful DM, Dr. Tiss, our lore keeper, and the other cult, apparently, on our Discord. There's two cults.
We're going to have a merger, and we're going to wear, blood red crimson robes.
Mm-hmm. The I Know Her Eldritch Horror cult. Got it. Okay, there we go. We've got the cult picked out.
Because there's no sense in eliminating. Let's just combine our forces.
Yep. You want to see some amazing content creators? Check out our friends. Matter of fact, let's go around. One of them's right below me. Tell everybody what you got going on there, Gertie.
Hi, yeah, I'm also called Mischievous Red. I stream on my own channel every Sunday at 5:30 Central right now, and we're doing some miniature painting. Pretty soon after Changeling, I'll start streaming again on Wednesdays, and I'm going to play some Final Fantasy with some friends. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I've been doing some miniature painting a little bit each day. I'm working on my Oathsworn. Yeah, because Oathsworn's a cool-ass game. I'm working on them. I love the oversized miniatures because they're bigger, and my blind ass can do it.
They just look better, too.
Yep.
You can get so many more details that are actually better. Yep. Same brain.
Testing out my new speed paints. So
it's not the size of the mini that matters, guys.
When you're painting them, it sure does. When you're blind as I am, it sure fucking helps that bigger.
Size always matters.
Yeah.
If someone's told you otherwise, they were trying not to hurt your feelings.
Damn. And as Verlin has said on stream before, this is not 6 inches. It's not a 6-inch miniature. Just saying. Just go point that out. Lanny, tell everybody what you got going on.
I stream every so often on my own channel. I'm also in the middle of planning a wedding, so I stream when I can.
That'll take time.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
But I stream on my own channel on Twitch. I did start Good Pizza, Great Pizza. So if you like simulation games, chill vibes, I'll probably be playing that sometime again soon. Yeah.
And if you want to see more Wade, watch him tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on the Call of Cthulhu game, because he has a librarian there too. There's a pattern I'm seeing with your Annie's characters there.
A trope.
Yeah, he likes to play the librarians because nothing ever bad happens to the librarians.
And now I've got Shanky saying you're Annie.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Mumble.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank Mumble.
Welcome.
Ravenous Archon, Preacher Green, what you got going on?
Hi, everybody. I do streaming stuff on my own channel as well. I do TTRPGs. Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Tuesdays, I alternate between Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf the Wild West. And Thursdays, I alternate between 7th Sea and my own Old Gods of Appalachia, which is going to be starting this week coming up. Yeah, on Wednesdays and Fridays, you can catch me over here because you guys still let me run games for some reason.
Are you planning to go as bad as I do?
I mean,
you going to start off murdering everybody? Let's put it that way.
No. They're all going to go into a mine and deal with like shadow creatures, and nothing terrible is going to happen to them.
I've tried to be good and not put you all in a mine. I'm saving mines for the next time I run Old Gods.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have some B&L in it at that point, some barrow and lock mines where the real shit goes wrong. But not yet.
You'll have some ASL in it too.
This is me easing into Old Gods, okay? This story is my way of easing in. Just saying. And please, if you want to support the players, bits and donations that go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way to give thanks to the players for, it takes work to put this in. There's outfits, time, effort. They have to put up with my shit. And if you want to support Mama for having to put up with my shit, buy her coffee, subscribe here on Twitch. Or if you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification icon, a little bell, comment on the video, all that shit will help support Mama for putting up with my shit. Because, I'm a handful sometimes, just say it. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her. Oh, get your merch. Go to our McStabber Studios merch store. At some point, we're going to have an Uncle Oski shirt from our Changeling game. I don't know, there might be that bitch that poisons t-shirt because somebody was uppity bitch that poisons joke.
Uppity bitch who poisons.
Yeah, that might end up popping up. Who knows? Now I'll turn over to my lovely wife for the schedule.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening for the second session of Old Gods of Appalachia. And coming up over the next week, we have tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, London Esoteric Society. It is a Call of Cthulhu 7E stream at 3 p.m. Eastern with your any, not your outie here, joining our amazing European GM, Dr. Tiss, and her crew of investigators as they do all the sus things that lead to insanity and murder. So, yeah, join them for that tomorrow at 3 p.m. On Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have our final session of the first season of Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass. Join myself, Mischievous Red, Ravnos Archon there on Wednesday as we wrap up a part of that story. It's going to be an ongoing chronicle, and it will return after some time. We have a few things in the works between now and when it can return, but it will be back as soon as it can after we finish. And then on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be right back here to die all over again in Old Gods of Appalachia, The Blood Debt.
But this time it didn't wait until nighttime. It got a little sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we might be getting into some shit. Mm-hmm.
That's called the ticking clock, everybody.
Yeah.
So, and before I go into my final part of the outro, if you liked our intro music or you liked our break music, pop over to ShawnJamesMusic.com. Shawn James was kind enough to let us use it. So pop over to his. He is on Spotify, so you can hear not just that tune. He has actually put out quite a number of songs, and a very unique sound that I think fit this stream. And he's got a voice on him. He got some power to that voice. So check out his website. And hey, good music doesn't matter what it is. Love some good music. And as I always in these streams, everybody, mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously and the mental health of others seriously. Check in on those around you. Check in on family, friends, loved ones, people you haven't heard from for a while. Make sure they're okay, because I know a lot of people aren't. And sometimes it just takes a kind word, friendly voice, just to be a lifeline that people need to get off the ledge. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like I know many people do, you reach out to your own support network. And I know it's tough, and some people don't feel right doing that. You don't want to be burdened on your support network. You're not a burden, first of all. But I understand that you may not want to do that. In chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line who will help you out and will be the lifeline you need. And if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not from the U.S., you can go to findahelpline.com, put in your country of origin, and find out exactly the support network in your country. Mental health is health. And while it's okay to not be okay, that doesn't mean we don't want you to get better, because we do. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her to give her portion of the outro.
And a bit like Lovey, I'm just going to tell you how it fucking is. Get your damn vaccines. Get your boosters. Because even if you get the illnesses of flu, COVID, being fully vaccinated or boosted prevents you from being as severely ill. More often than not, you won't even require being hospitalized. They can now prescribe Paxlovid to be picked up at the pharmacy, and you take it at home if you're not needing hospitalization. So seriously, get your damn shots. Also, please make sure you're registered to vote. The election coming up is a huge one, not just for presidency, okay? Not just for presidency. It is a big one because every seat in the U.S. House of Representatives is up for filling.
And local elections are always important.
And local elections are always important. For one, that affects your day-to-day life. Two, where do you think the federal ones come from? They start on the local level. So start with your local elections, making sure you get the people that you want making massive decisions countrywide in your local elections first, because that's where they come from.
Don't skip out just because you don't like the national, local, state, all of it's important.
All of it's important. All of it. So I really want to see folks turn the fuck out. I really do. Because I know far and wide, this country bleeds a hell of a lot more blue than it does red.
And I'm just tired of seeing ungovernable house right now. I can't deal with that.
Another extension, not an actual budget.
Can't pass a damn budget. The only job the House does.
Fucking job.
Yeah. Can't pass a damn budget. So I get to hang
You know
with.
what would happen if I couldn't do my job? I'd be fired.
Yeah. I get to have the sword of Damocles still hanging over my head about whether my funding will run out
Every
in
couple
March.
months, we get to deal with this stress.
Yep.
Because we don't know. Are they going to let it shut down? Is my husband going to go weeks without pay?
Yep. It's a sword of Damocles hanging over all the federal workers and the ancillary non-federal workers that support federal workers in other ways. Ones who run dry cleaners, they get affected by shutdowns. Ones who have lunch places around any federal facility, they make no money when the government shuts down. And a lot of those are small businesses. They need the federal government. They make their money off the employees.
Things like hotels and stuff lose money.
Yep.
Because they host people that are visiting for different things with the government. So, yeah, for real. Yeah, exactly, Thantos. And they can vote for themselves to get a fucking raise, but they can't pass a goddamn budget. Yeah.
Can I vote for my own raises?
I want to vote for my own raises, and I don't want to have to do my fucking job to get it either.
And I want to work 3 days a week because I'll take Mondays and Fridays off.
Yeah.
To talk to my constituents.
Right.
Lobbyists. And get
they
paid.
Sure as shit ain't answering our emails. Trust me. Steny Hoyer, I'm talking about you, bitch.
Yeah. So I do thank everyone, and I hope you're enjoying this mystery here. Trust me, by the end, it'll make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Every little bit is one little key to opening up that chest of knowledge.
Yep.
Couple of the locks are gone. You just got a few more to get through.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank everyone for coming, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow for Call of Cthulhu. But if not, we see you for Changeling or episode 3 of Old Gods.
Got lots to choose from here.
Yep.
Much love to y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.